Welcome. We have another live trading session. This recording is for those that can't make it. Hopefully, everything is set up crystal clear, set up well for both the stream and for the recording. Remember to start it a little earlier this time so we have the recording from the get go. We're just going to do a little bit of a market rundown here, go through a few things as we wait for people to trickle in. So that would be what we do first. And let's get at it. First off,
Oh,
hello, what is going on? That sound like Danksy. That's
yo,
right.
you know how it is.
Yeah. Another fun day in NFT land. Not a
For
lot
sure.
been going on today. Um, it's been fairly quiet
There we
overall. There
I
you go.
had
You
to
can hear now?
off and turn it back on.
Yeah. You had me worried. You had me worried. I thought, okay, I got my setup all good, and then you're saying you can't hear me, and the Discord green light's lighting up. So yeah, I assume Discord could hear me. Um, so that is that. So leading the way over the last 24 hours, we have Other Deed. Other Deeds pulled back a little bit, to my understanding. Take a look. Switching keyboards between Mac and PC gets really confusing with the Command Alt function keys. They don't work the same way on both keyboards, which is so frustrating. Hopefully, oh, there we go. Took a while to load. I'm not sure what the exact catalyst was for the decline here. Maybe just someone did a sell off, made a move on something else. I don't know. Selling off their other deeds to go buy some ordinals. I don't know. This whole ordinal situation has been, I don't know, I want to say frustrating. I don't know if that's the proper language for it, but it's taken some attention away from the ETH NFTs and ETH space, and I don't know if it's necessarily good or bad because I would assume a lot of the liquidity that is happening on ordinals is just ETH NFT maxis. So we'll be curious to see how that progresses, how it moves, and how it plays. Hopefully, it's flash in the plan because I think that's probably best for the ecosystem. But we'll see. I mean, we've got to adapt if it's not right. Um, Volume. As always with these sessions, you got any questions, any comments, anything like that, just put it in chat or shout it out, and we'll go through things. I don't have a lot. It's kind of a light day here. Probably a bit of a light session. My daughter has a play date, so a little bit of chaos in the house. So I'm gonna probably try to be conscious of that, so I can help out with the wife and make sure that the chaos doesn't overrun the house as it tends to do with a couple 5-year-olds and a 2.5-year-old running around. Um, Not to mention just myself running around. I get a little out of control with the kids. So um, overall market was pretty good. I'm starting to see some more positive trader to seller ratio, but still got a ways to go yet to try and break that one. I think the one is, more buyers than sellers is the ideal state we want to be into. That indicates that we have more new entrants, and we haven't seen it since way back. Basically, it's been almost a year since we've seen that kind of levels, but that's when we've seen peak bull market activity was when that ratio was pumping over one. Bit of WETH acceptance here as well. I don't know if that is other D or if that's people moving out. Of course, we did have a bit of panic in the market as well from the whole staking and SEC involvement and what that may entail. Don't have a lot of details behind that. Initially it's targeted at an individual platform for now, and we'll see how it kind of progresses throughout. But I don't necessarily focus on the regulation side of things. I don't know until it happens. It's all kind of rumors and FUD for the most part. So we'll see how it impacts throughout. I'm just noticing here right now, looks rare is just about all but nothing in terms of volume, which is just crazy. See a lot of wallets on the Sharp wallets moving with other deeds. I don't know if that's collections on it or if they're early exiting. Curious to know what that is. I mean, it's 25 net ads actually, so they're buying as others are selling, so which would make sense. We've got one here with 5 net ads, which is interesting, or 5 wallets. This could be the unordinals. Yeah, which is what I expected. That one opened up pretty high. It's about the only project that is kind of note, but it's at a spot where I don't know if it's recommendable. Oh, OpenSea is just dead slow. It's unbelievable when you get to it and you try to load something up. It is still one of the worst websites going, even though it's still awesome too at the same time. Just that kind of non-responsiveness is just killer. I'm struggling to update things using the regular keyboard and mouse. Yeah, it's not going to load. But unordinals, take a look at that as kind of the interesting new entrant. Obviously a play off of everything that's going on in the space on the BTC side of things. I don't particularly like the art style, but then again, I mean the ordinal punks art style it's just, in my opinion, a worse version of actual punks. So that's interesting. But yeah, these opened up. I guess they did open up right low. And they ran quick. Shoot. That's the thing. If you gotta be dead on top of things on a constant basis to capture some of these. But this is just
Are those
really
are
almost
those
a meme play.
ordinals? Are those ordinals and do you need a different wallet for those?
Yeah, you need a different wallet.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's really difficult to do.
Yeah, you need a node really. There, it's super prohibitive. I can't, other than the hysteria and hype that's going on the BT side of things. I can't recommend personally that. It seems like it's something to get involved in. I mean, unless you're expert level on the technical side of things. Because yeah, it's either
It's so difficult.
yeah, you're either joining the Discord and Google sheeting it and doing bids and doing trust trades, all of which doesn't sound ideal. Or you're running a node, at which point you're probably a bit of a BTC maxi if you're doing that, or have access to one and doing the trade that way with the wallet. So none of it is super easy.
Oh, that's
There's
fucking
no
weird.
there's no wallet to there's no MetaMask equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fuck up and uh mix your BTC NFT with normal BTC, you just lose it. That's my reading so far, my research so far.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I've heard similar. I heard it's super risky and mostly people that have acquired are just like, okay, I've acquired, I'm now holding, and that's it, kind of thing.
Check the sewer punks. Or not sewer punks, sewer passes. There's probably no volume.
Now, does it show on? Doesn't have rank, but does it show the passes score, or does it on the website, or where do you go to see the pass score? Because that's obviously the more
It's
impactful
on
part of it,
some
right?
random website.
Interesting.
But you should see passes selling by their score at this point.
Yeah.
or soon. So
And then by that, isn't a tier 4 equal to a lower one, or is a tier 4 still have additional benefit in the sense of uh, the ability to to get or draw a better return on it? Because like
I don't know.
it was mostly a score multiplier, right? So does it give you?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm seeing tier 4 is still going high, but then that could also be because it's tier 4 with high scores too, right? So
yeah. It's probably easier to get a higher score, so that's why it's there.
mm-hmm.
But who knows?
Not as
Hey, Dangsty,
What's up?
did you check your Helix claims?
No, I'm gonna check them right now.
It's yeah, it's
How do
open
you check
now.
them?
The link is in the announcements.
Announcements. Can I just go through all my NFTs and
They got like a site, and you can post. You can search for like the OpenSea link of the NFT, or you can just connect your wallet to it.
let me see. I don't think I have any. Ooh, I do. I got a diamond.
Yeah, you should get like a diamond
I got a gold,
box.
sapphire, and helix spacesuit.
Cool.
Nice. How much is it gonna cost? $10. That's hell money. How much are they selling for?
I haven't looked, but the collection is in. I want to say they posted it in minor
Oh,
announcements, maybe, or minor news. Let's see.
let me see. I can just check on OpenSea. Land map. Can you see where your land is?
Yeah, you can see everything now.
Not gonna lie, Helix kind of died down. They kind of. It's like the NFT game where it's hype, and
mm-hmm.
then like you fuck up once and it's not hype anymore.
Yeah, or you just don't keep it. You make a big announcement and you like say you're gonna do all this shit, and then it's like you can't do it overnight.
Yeah,
So people
tension
lose their interest.
tension spans are short, and yeah, if you're not pumping that
People
continuous,
are animals. What are you gonna do?
it's
Yeah.
you're looking at that. I think that's almost to the degree what Chex is going through as well right now. You know, they got the announcement that the burn's happening, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, the hype and anticipation's kind of slowed down. But then they also mentioned that they're basically creating a second collection based on the burn, so it doesn't sound like it's deflationary in doing that, which I think is what I was most bullish on. Um, but yeah, it's a tension driven economy. That's where this whole process right now with sewer passes and Dookie Dash and this whole kind of gamification rollout is going to perform so well is that it's a monthly event and keeping that attention going on is going to be so key to it. And there's been very little drop off in the terms of floor price. It was an immediate amount, and then now it's back up to really where it was pre-close there. So it's really good.
Oh, I still can't see it in my activities. Maybe it's in hidden.
You go to Holder News, it'll take you to the collection
I know, but
for.
I'm looking for it in my inventory.
Did you claimed it already?
Yeah, hasn't
Okay.
showed up on my OpenSea activity.
What I'm hearing people getting the Meyer Vault, which I don't know how you qualified to get that, but it's at 0.229 right now.
Let me see.
Like I didn't
I
get any
see the
vaults.
ERC 15 for it.
I got a diamond box and I got some random shit. The diamond box is only like 0.03.
It's fine.
Like all the boxes, really. Like the gold box is 0.046. Um, but the diamond, for whatever reason, is lowest. Uh, I thought the
Yeah,
diamond.
someone was talking about getting hella diamond boxes.
Well, there's less gold and less sapphire than diamonds.
I don't even see it in my inventory. So I mean, it's in my wallet. I just don't see it on OpenSea. Yeah, it's fine. Who cares?
Yeah, with Helix, it's like until they're producing the game.
In the game, you can play demos or betas.
Okay. So I mean, that's where the items start to hold value. But like even just the initial rollout of some of the items and the value that they're holding seemed pretty substantial. But without the game being live, it's tough for those items to have the same impact and desire, right? Quite understand these lucky punks. Yeah, super quiet on the overall volume side of things, which is fair enough. I mean, we had a
It's Friday. What are you
good
gonna
few
do?
yeah good few days of surging there, and lately it has been the weekends that the volume has been quieter. In the past, in the spring and the summertime, the weekends actually were pretty strong. It's kind of shifted, and so it's all right. Take your time away on the weekends and busy during the week. What other projects are people looking at, or do we want to look at?
Have you guys heard of Sealy's? It's a upcoming mint, but a lot of people in my server are talking about it. I haven't looked at it at all.
Sealy's? Like,
Yeah, let me see. I probably have like the whole all the info on it.
I'm gonna say, how do you even spell Sealy's? Like
Let's see.
sea leaves, sea. I'm bearish on the name. Yeah, it's kind of weird right now. It feels like we're out of any specific meta, other than some of the random ordinal ripoffs that are going on. This is a fun one here. Is this "We Will Rock You," which is basically an identical version of "What the Fluff." This AI outputs. It's impressive what the AI generation can do, though. Like this is basically photorealistic kind of art in a way.
I posted the info uh in the VC chat.
Thanks.
That's just the collab info they sent us for the giveaways and shit.
Was that loud or lucky punks that you were saying that, Richie? For the rank one sold, or which one are you saying there? Pixel art. Pixel art is always fun. Oh, we will rock you. Were they actually revealed? Oh, they are. Oh, are they? They are. Okay. This is such a identical copy of What the Fluff. Or I think Fluff even changed their name.
I'm pretty sure Guppy got whitelist spots for B3L also. Unless I'm looking at the wrong thing. This is Seedify. Oh yeah, I think this is a different one. This is for Seedify.
It kind of seems cool, especially if it's got a storyline behind it. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the name. I think it makes it a little hard to. I mean, once you see the name, it's not as hard to do, but not hearing the name and trying to look it up was not easy.
Yeah, if you want a whitelist spot, let me know.
Supply do they got going? Cool. There's so many projects that are coming out, and one of the harder parts is trying to aggregate what projects are coming out, and of those projects that are coming out are worthwhile. And then of course then the other part of it is if they're worthwhile, how are you getting on whitelist or getting in there so you can get it pre-mint, which is the often the easiest uh, spot to return a profit.
All right, I
Otherwise,
got those. I got those guys to come for AMA on my server if you want to ask them any questions, Roots.
sounds good.
But yeah, there are like a million freaking projects every day. Like I watch the mint section of the Magically every now and then, and it's
Yeah,
just like something new every second. Something new is popping up, and it's like it's impossible. You're gambling. You might. That's the same as going to the casino. That's the way that I see it, anyway. But it's like every time I see one and I'm like, nah, fuck that. It like goes to point two.
that's
It's
yeah,
like I see it. It's like point zero zero
yeah,
one. I'm like, nah, fuck that.
yeah,
Like, and then next time I look at it, it's point two. I'm like, fuck you.
yeah. There's been a few of those lately in the last week that have been popping off for really seemingly no significant reason. And it's frustrating when you're like, okay, what was it with that particular project that made it do what it did, right? And of course, I mean, a lot of it can come to whether it's Discord roadmaps or Twitter information or things like that that you don't see on the surface that maybe helps it move a little bit better. Um, but like I like to try and be on top of what's active and what's moving, and from there get an understanding of based on past successes what might have a chance to move, and um, found that that's been pretty effective. I think a lot of the instant successes, um, opportunities, et cetera, exist in the space of newer projects as well. So just keeping an eye on that. It's also really challenging to stay on top of the, you know, hundreds, if you will, of existing projects of significance that where they're at a good opportunity or not, etc. See you later, Danksy. Welcome to 2% Paradox and Shags. Again, if you have any questions or whatnot, toss them in public VC chat and we'll get at them. Just kind of watching things, seeing what's going on. It's been pretty quiet as it can be on a Friday or a weekend. I guess it's a Friday late afternoon, depending on where you're at. I'm just winding up my day for the week to go into a bit of a long weekend, which is nice. So the wife and I are going to get away for a night. So going to be a good weekend. But getting in a session here before the week is out.
Have you looked at Beanbag Friends?
I did at the time when the one word at the time of the acquisition, which was what was basically this time last week.
A Monday, just the beginning of this week. I remember being at work when it was announced. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, they sure. I like the similarities between the collections. Like I feel like there's a kind of a good similar art style and look and feel to it, and I think that part is interesting. It's also interesting that a newer project is making an acquisition of an existing project like that quick. But I think you could probably see more of that possibly in the space, especially with some projects that have been around for some time that maybe don't have the liquidity or capital anymore. So yeah, I do like the fit between the collections and growing the universe there. So um, between Nippies and Beanbag Friends. Now, of course, usually when you get something like a news event like that and then it takes a run up, it typically um, tends to kind of gas off or pull back thereafter. Not seeing that yet at this point, which is good, and still seeing a lot of sales above floor, which is always a good strong indicator. It means people are accumulating and focusing on collecting traits, etc. Which again is typically a positive to a collection that is growing and establishing. Wonder if it. I don't see it on my sales above floor, which is not the most effective metric at times. It's kind of a hard one to produce, but it's always can be kind of interesting to see what ones show on there. On Chain Monkey, obviously being the recent runner, and typically that's what can show up there. So the project runs up fast, and then you'll get that a whole bunch of sales above floor, and then the metric doesn't quite calculate the way you want it to. What else has everyone got going on? Have you had a chance to dive into Magically and use it if you weren't using Alpha Sharks? All you need to do is
Yeah,
use.
but I loved Alpha Sharks to begin with.
Yeah, right. It's
Yeah, me too.
a nice platform. It's it'll be curious to see how they adapt. Now, obviously, they've already started to make some changes and adjustments with the platform. So how they continue to do that. So this is really the more recent one here is how they show the listing wall. At first, it's kind
One
of
thing, I got a question for you.
Mhm.
One thing I'm wondering, where do they pick up all these tiny ass mints and all these like, this reminds me of freaking like PooCoin with on the Binance Smart Chain, almost where people can advertise their project and have it featured on here and, to get it in front of people that are buying.
So
Like, how do they pick them up?
they're getting it right from the live on-chain data. So when I first started with doing some analytics within the space, I was capturing all the activity from using Google BigQuery, which was basically a replication of the Ethereum blockchain. And then from there, I was doing the efforts that are required to kind of decode the transactions that are happening. And so, of course, a new mint will show differently than a normal sales transaction versus, maybe a transfer, things like that. There's a lot of different processing and analytics that goes in behind that, but they've basically got a connection to probably through a node where they're loading in the transactions as they happen, and then through that they're able to decipher whether or not that's a mint transaction or an existing collection, etc. And so as soon as a contract starts minting, then it's going to show up here, and then they can pull out all that information right from the contract itself. That's pretty
That's
cool
pretty
how
crazy.
yeah, it's pretty crazy, pretty cool how it all happens. So this is all basically like visualizing, the Ethereum blockchain in that respect, to what's going on, right? And of course, obviously, there's a lot more than just NFT transactions that happen on the Ethereum blockchain, but this picks up, the ones that matter, and of course, like they're happening real time, which is also just totally wild. And
Have
I
you
think
used Nexus tools?
I have not. Tell me about.
It's mainly just for tracking mints, but it has quite a bit of information, and you can mint directly from the website when you're watching them, depending on how many it allows through one transaction. You can mint 1 through 100, however many. Um, you can automate
Interesting.
those and
Yeah.
everything too to run bots and stuff. But a lot of people use it to set up pings for if something starts minting, and it has like you set your threshold for pending transactions, and it'll notify you.
Why isn't it loading? There we go.
I actually know the dev over there. They recently partnered with OCB, and
Okay.
that gives us access to it for I don't know, like a month or something, right? But they came in the VC and did a demo and stuff, and I used it beforehand when it was first
Yeah.
announced about the partnership, and it didn't really seem like my style. Just I'm not too into the minting stuff, but him actually like giving the rundown of how to use it and the intricacies and all the settings and stuff. It's actually a pretty cool tool. It looks pretty powerful if you know
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing with it, right? Um, but we could probably get him over here and do something in the VC and give people the rundown. Probably give B3L members access for a while at least.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, it looks like a more enhanced version of what you see on some of these trading platforms where they have the live mints, but I mean if you can tie into it quicker and perform on it quicker or things like that, like it's super valuable
That's
because
it. I mean, it's just a more suited tool, right? Like I love the like a jack of all trades with magically and stuff, but you know this is just directed at that one thing and it does it really well.
One of my Helix airdrops is worth 0.25 right now.
There you go.
Something else Nexus is doing too. I don't know if y'all are aware, but Flips.watch went paid. Everybody use that, but Nexus will be coming out with a replacement soon. They're going to keep free to use.
Nice. That's the thing. Most quality tools can be found for free within the space, at least a decent alternative.
And something like that's really not hard to develop. I don't see why Flips.watch went paid like that because it just incentivizes people to make their own tools. I mean, it's just like profit and loss, right? Some simple data. I mean, I've already seen like Discord bots being made for it, so I don't really see them making too much more money.
It's interesting when you said Nexus. I'm like, oh, that's the border crossing, Canada-U.S. border crossing name, the Nexus Pass. Genesis Pass. Twitter is totally different from what this collection is. Other thoughts, questions, comments? What's everyone got going on for the weekend? What's everyone trading? What's an underrated collection? I don't know.
So Valentine's Day is coming up. Do I just mint the first Valentine's Day themed NFT and give that to my old lady?
Yeah, right? What was it? Hearts? Did Hearts come up Valentine's Day last year? But yeah, that's exactly what you do. Say, I got you a Valentine's NFT. Are you happy?
All right. Well, when she gets mad at me, I'm gonna tell her that you gave me the financial and relationship
Well,
advice.
I'm actually providing a service this Valentine's Day for $750. I'll come arrest you, and it includes fishing gear and tackle and a fishing trip,
That's a fucking deal.
and then we'll release you on Monday.
Solid plan.
Where do you see Quirky's going? I've been thinking about getting one for a while. I'm surprised to see them dip down so quickly from their last little run up.
That's one of those situations again where like it's based on the news event, bit of a run up, and then it'll just kind of slowly gas off again from there. Quirkies I've seen in this, and I wish there was. I don't know if I will actually go back as far as I want. Oh, there we go. 2 Degrees was asking me about Quirkies not long ago, and at that time I was saying, okay, probably the 0.9 range is where I thought would be a good entry point again. From just based on the kind of the long-term trend of where Quirkies were through kind of the bear and the lull. felt like that could be a not a bad spot. But I mean, you see there's some pretty low trends in here, back at 0.5. Just crazy. See them down there. Of course, we had this run up from cards and their efforts and what they've been building. But what a lot of that has been community driven, also, strong whale holder driven, etc. Poppy and, kind of that almost that influence side of things. From my understanding, he's gotten busier, so I don't know if he's able to push that gas pedal quite as much. I know they're working hard and there's learnings and efforts going in there. It's just what can they build and deliver. So um, I think eh, I think where they're sitting right now is probably um, where they sit, right? And it's just a matter of time frame on whether or not they can deliver anything or build any additional efforts and hype um, without it dropping any further. And then as soon as there's those news events come out that whether it's the next evolution drop of the story, or cards and that progression, or any IRL kind of production that they've been focused on, but hasn't yet come to delivery yet. So um, a lot of challenges there. One of the parts that I find always crazy with Quirkies is this volume of um, flagged items, and what happens with it is that it reflects a lower floor price on these aggregators for them. And I don't know if that's necessarily ideal or great. And I don't know how many, like, I look at Quirkies often enough that I notice it and see it. So um, I don't know how many other collections are kind of hampered by, like, in this instance, it's a 20-25% decline on floor price just by looking at it when you see it on, maybe a volume chart or something like that. Uh, and it's not actually what the representation of the floor is, right? So that part I think also pulls a bit of a drawback to that, because when your floor is represented higher than especially above 1 ETH, then it's much stronger for the collection. Of course, a lot of people are still looking at OpenSea, so it's all irrelevant in that respect. But yeah, they're a hard one to get a firm grasp on. Um, I don't know if there's a lot super positive, but I think that's with a lot of established collections where the cycle of content and what comes out isn't as rapid as it might have felt in the early days, right? So there's going to be those periods where there's nothing coming out, and floor prices and attention drives elsewhere. So it's
One
hard.
thing that I do like that they're doing is that advisory board they've pulled
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I think that'll help, like, with news when it comes out. But I think we might see this as kind of a trend. Like, hopefully they can hold that 1 ETH floor. I feel like that they'll, like, have news and see a pump like they did recently, and more than likely work their way back down. And we'll just see that as news comes out. And it might be solid swing trading, but I don't know if they're really gonna fly up and hold anywhere high.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I think it takes news events for them to move upward. Um, you know, WETH offers are your friend, always in these scenarios. You're right. The advisory board is really a good move by them. I think that's probably led by maybe some of the pressures of some smart individual holders within the collection that may have recommended it, and Sin is always open to trying to best develop the, the project. So, but what has it returned since then, right? So, that's the challenge, right? Has it returned any additional kind of progress and growth? It's hard to say.
You
Until
brought up WETH offers. I always heard that there's a lot of WETH offers being taken in that collection too, and it's part of what brought them down so quickly from that high. It's kind of like I always hear it compared to space routers. It's like the space routers of blue chips. It's like the first blue chip people go to WETH when they're looking for some liquidity.
Yeah, You look at the how that collection, how Quirky's built up was driven a lot by, some strong ape holders, and so when they accumulate a lot of it within the collection, and you have a higher percentage ownership by, say, a collection like that, then when they need to progress or move on a different opportunity, they're going to look for collections that they are not seeing the strength on, right? So, but that's a
They
really
really
interesting.
incentivize trading and stuff too within the community. I
Yeah,
think that might have something to do with it.
yeah, that's true. Um, and it's I don't know if that's always ideal, right, for your volume and eyes and
That
whatnot.
might have
So
something to do with all those flagged assets they listed too.
yeah, I'm surprised there's so many for them that haven't. Other collections typically just buy them out anyways, even though they're flagged. But maybe that's more of a sign of the strength in the community that, hey, or maybe it's a sign of the lack of diversity in the community as well, where it's still that community that's driving a lot of it. And that's something that you don't see well on Magically, but you get on other platforms. So if we go to NFT Go and look up, I'm not sure how much they've locked down over time, but look at the
Just to
hold.
compare it to Space Riders again, their listings look about the same with a 20% decrease from the floor to the lowest listed restricted token. There's 6 restricted tokens listed under the floor.
It's a decent amount there too, yeah. So you can see the holder trends here. And I clicked it. There we go. It's a constant, almost a constant um, drawdown on it. This chart isn't super ideal, given the fact that
Bit
it's
ring. It looks like it just popped up recently. It's like 0.009, 0.01.
at a new collection.
Yeah, well, it says deployed 9 hours ago, but that could just be the contract. It's up at the top,
Yeah.
60 sales, 1,000 total.
What is Bitring?
Somebody's sweeping.
Once a collection gets up at the top here, there's usually a pretty
There's people
pretty good
lowering
push.
prices.
What is this?
It's got no Twitter link to it, so I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, they're saying the right things in this description, but it totally seems like a rug in it.
Don't you have to be able to show proof of um, whatever it is with the ordinal?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if anyone is yet, but that's the thing. All collections have to do is say, "Hey, we're going ordinal," or "Hey, this is ordinal," or whatever. And like, does that mean all the holders get a copy of the ordinal one, or is it that we put them all in on ordinal, kind of like the on-chain monkeys? I don't know if it's stated fully or what they've done. Is it are the ordinal on-chain monkeys owned by all the holders of on-chain monkeys, or is it just the on-chain monkeys are in one ordinal transaction and that's it, kind of thing, right? Um, these rings are interesting, but yeah, I mean, you can just say we're ordinal, but that doesn't mean anything, and it's endorsed by an underground Web3 community pushing the limits of blockchain technologies, which is interesting considering that this has come out, you know, 5-6 days after the Monday, Tuesday kind of things kicked off in ordinals. So you know, uh, underground Web3 community is probably going to push that maybe a little faster. Although they say they have a ordinal burn to claim bridge. I don't understand. I mean, Bitcoin is the king of crypto chains in the sense of market cap, etc. Being the original, etc. But what is the lure to owning an NFT on Bitcoin? Right? What benefits does it provide you other than
The only way I could see it really taking off is if, like, for whatever reason, it does get adopted later on and becomes more streamlined with like more supportive wallets and being able to track your ordinal and differentiate it between your Bitcoin or Satoshi or whatever. Um, and marketplaces like and obviously without smart contracts, it's impossible to do that with a trustless system, right? You would have to be like an escrow or something. Um, and it's kind of a long shot for that to take off, for these ordinals to become popular enough to warrant that adoption and stuff. But if it does, these would be like a historic NFT, right? Or at least some of them, some of the early ones. But whether that happens or not, I just don't really see that happening, at least near term.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same perspective. But, where there's hype, crazier things have happened. So it's hard to totally fade it, but
That's it for real. Like I've faded stuff I thought was stupid countless times, and it like Goblin Town. I watched those men out, and
yeah.
I was on Icy Tools. I pointed the laptop at my girl and was like, "This is what people make money on in NFTs. This is the ugliest art I've ever fucking seen," and completely faded it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was there.
All you gotta do is get somebody to be like,
Yeah,
I was there the night they minted as well, and totally was like, nope, those are ugly. Yeah, little did you know.
at least it was easier for them to start a meta with the free mint than starting a Bitcoin ordinal meta that's like
Yeah.
super complicated.
Yeah.
And as complicated as it is, it's kind of like part of what makes it harder to trend and everything, right? Because it's not easy to understand or to like. It's a niche market, like crazy, like the nichiest of markets.
Not even the original bit ring. There's already an NFT collection called Bitring.
seems like once it hits 0.009, somebody sweeps 5.
Oh, that's rugged.
Yeah, twice in the past like 5 minutes.
Self sweeping. I much prefer the open edition meta that was going on, and this lull that we have right now. It's an interesting one that came and went pretty quick. Checks art history. But those are the type of collections that when you see them, it's just like it makes a lot of sense for a at least a quick pump. But it has to be creative enough that it sticks out in that respect. Like Unordinals, I think would have been a pretty easy enough one to at least expect some kind of movement on, just based on the nameplay at least, and pixel art. I don't know if Richie is gone yet. Oh, we missed Richie. But thanks for showing up, bud.
I do like these little trends that make my hidden folder pump up. I had some NFTs last night announced they're going ordinal or whatever, and I've been holding on to them for 9 months at 0 and sold them for like 0.05.
So that's the alpha, is to check your hidden archived NFTs and see if any of them were part of it.
So yeah.
$3.1 ETH beanbag sale. That's a sweet one too. Almost looks like what are they called? Shoot.
I have a good feeling about the beanbags, man. I'm really thinking about picking up some more. OCB called it though, Jamson Hadres, earlier in the week, and their first exit was 0.08, so we're seeing them starting to offload some. They had a second exit price of 0.15 and a third of 0.3 for a moonshot case. Obviously, they're all unloading their bags right now.
Mm-hmm.
But with them, if the charts stay looking good and news comes out or whatever, they use those funds, turn them back around, and sweep again to try to incite another surge and hit that second exit.
Sweet.
I think with the way Steve executes, like he doesn't move without a plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got some major plan. It was an IP play, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I think he already has some stuff in the works, and whatever's with that roadmap on the 18th could be pretty significant. And I think it's obviously getting a lot of eyes on Nippy. I think some of like the bigger whales and people that are seeing this happen, there'll be a pretty decent transition over into the parent collection.
Yeah, that 101 that just went is pretty cool.
$3 ETH too.
Mm-hmm. It's a big buy for a point 0.05. Well, that's a hell of a deal right there.
Who picked that up?
0.055 listing on Blur, and then the next listing is 0.083. And actually, that Blur.
Oh, my buddy sold that one of one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, shit. Okay. I just looked over in the group chat. It's Ferrani. It's Cigar Smoker in here. He's in B3L. He's a board member.
Yeah. Good profit.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Are any of you guys in Feline Fiends?
I'm not.
I won one, but I haven't sold it because it's a good rank. It's like top 1% or no, top 5% maybe. The floor is low.
It's real low. They've been around. I think they minted around the same time Space Riders did, and we've always known about them. They were kind of competition at first, both minting out close to each other and trying to build and doing raids. They used to be really active on Twitter, right? I haven't really seen much of any execution from the team over the past almost a year. Like they hired a dev to start an ecosystem, and it's just a Discord bot with off-chain Discord tokens, and it's not really too stacked or anything. They have managed to stay somewhat relevant via Twitter, Bolivian, and the founders just being active in Twitter Spaces, but that's really about it. Like they always say there's an announcement coming and this is happening and that, but like there's no real execution, and the floor price reflects that. That's just my take.
Yeah, I wonder what I could get for it.
Probably not a whole lot. What's funny is they'll put Space Riders and Feline Fiends in both in their shop, and then the Space Riders get like 3 times as many entries as the Feline Fiends.
It says it's rank 88.
Well, that's not bad.
Oh,
Like, there's an offer below the floor for it.
Rank 88, you might be able to get a. It's out there.
volume on them. Look, no trades. Is that bugged over there?
You have to refresh just about every time when you load magically, and it's
2 hours, 3 hours.
frustrating.
You know, they're a higher floor than I thought. They pumped a bit.
Yeah, like in these ranks, like 3,700.69. This is a trait buy, but
That
5.
that little meta at the beginning of the year where projects with like communities that have stayed active and stuff through the bear, they all kind of surged at the same time there. I think it did a lot of good for projects that have been around a while and really like dumped during the bear.
Yeah, I think King, you're looking at probably a 0.15, 0.2 maybe. There's a 169 sold for 0.2 21 hours ago.
Yeah, and I'm also not sure which is the actual rarity because I've seen it at like OpenSea, the Alpha Sharks has it saying 88, and then magically, I believe, or I forget what it was. Another one that I used, Trait Sniper, maybe, said it was like 154. So I don't know which is like the
Both,
right one.
both good.
Yeah, yeah,
You're basically around top 10%.
yeah. I
I
think I
guess not
might
top
just
10%. They're a smaller collection, but
leave it.
there's been some activity here in the last yesterday. Actually, a big volume push there. What was the news bit? Ah, the retreat. Going fishing.
Nice.
Retreat.friends. They used to show up so well in Twitter threads. They were good raiders there back in the day. They would raid probably harder than Corkies, and it was always frustrating.
Oh yeah, Feline Fiends used to like be strong as hell on Twitter.
Yeah. And they've been kind of resilient because of it.
What didn't help though is their founders, they're younger founders. I want to say like 19 or 20 or something, and they really just kind of balled out with the mint funds and were really open about it, like buying BMWs and posting it on Twitter and stuff.
Nice.
You know, some kids having a good time came into a bunch of money and kind of didn't know what to do with it.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's bad. I've seen people try to do that, you know.
I don't understand why no one's been able to come up with a better pixel art similar to.
Oh shit, hold it, my bad.
All good. Similar to the punks, you know, like something in that art style, just maybe done a little bit more detail, a little bit more whatever style. I think could do. I'm looking at this Project Zotox, but the art is it's weird. super cheap though. 0.004.
If there's one derivative I've learned to stay away from, it's punks, though. So, could a legitimate project even do well being a punks derivative?
Well, you don't. I don't know if you have to be a derivative. More so, some form of extension of just pixel art that has a similar maybe style or feel to it, but is either whatever face that you're doing on it, right? Just like a good quality pixel art, right? Um,
Pretty much what Genuine Undead was going for, right?
mm-hmm. And I mean, they had their run too. They
If
pushed
they
it
would have had like a
1/8.
strong team behind them, I think they really could have done something.
Like the quality of their art is totally it, right? Just slow, steady decline.
They just never had any like guidance or goal or potential utility or anything. It's just art and community. So, I mean, they were a solid community. They just needed a team to provide something.
I find them maybe a bit too muted as well. They don't
Not vibrant enough.
they don't stand yeah, I don't stand out. Like I think contrasty items, if you're thinking okay, you're gonna get active in Twitter and stand out, something that's got some contrast to it, a little bit of vibrance. I think it performs maybe a bit better too as well. When everything looks kind of muddy or the same, it's tough. Chungos, they got vibrance to them. They're ugly. I kind of I ignored them, and then of course
I faded the fuck out of them,
yeah.
man. I'm not gonna lie.
I forget who asked me about chungos, and I was like, didn't really say anything. I didn't see it, and that was, but they went on
A bunch of
a bit
space
of a run.
riders in the OG Pass Discord got in on them like really cheap, like under 0.01, and one of them just sold one for like 2 ETH.
Wow.
Damn, I need a space rider. What's the floor at now?
0.13, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, that whole Discord was nothing but just chungos for like fucking 3 days.
1.3 for riders.
But that was in their Alpha Pass server, the OG Pass. It's like a 0.14 floor. It's a different NFT for the Alpha.
Is that 10xer? 0.001. The original we're unloading at.
I want to say a 10xer until you take in gas.
Yeah,
That's what kills me out with
right.
this damn.
You put gas in there and you make 0.
Yeah.
You lose. Which is crazy. I don't understand how some of that, like, is it just total volume that he'd get away with trying to push those?
You ever notice that it's cheaper gas if you actually go to OpenSea or any of the any of these rather than buying it directly through Magically?
Depends on what your gas settings are too, but I haven't checked that. It's a good point because lately Magically's gases seemed a little crazy. I've switched them.
Like with
I've
the settings that it's default, like the gas is way higher than if I just go to OpenSea and buy the NFT.
OpenSea uses that Seaport or whatever, right? Like they have the new optimized gas stuff, right? Because I just tested that recently. Actually, I was sweeping something and I put it in my cart, and magically I turned my gas down and just to see how much it would cost, and it was $20 more than just going to OpenSea and
Yeah,
using.
but I just looked and they both say auto. So they're setting it to like fucking I don't know what they're setting it to. Like probably the highest.
High gas,
They
even
must get a
automatic.
cut of the gas or something, you know? Like they gotta. I don't understand how these guys would make money if they're not taking anything from any of this, you know?
Well, that's just it. I mean, I don't think they can siphon the gas, so to speak, but
They have to make money somehow. There's no way somebody's just doing this.
you can adjust all your gas settings too, to turn it down. The thing is
Yeah,
like
I gotta
the
do
idea
that.
behind that is that you get into something where like for instance this one listed at 0.001 um, by accident. Now you got 6 transactions on there, and so now the top fee is going to take it. And so you use something like magically, and it will adjust the gas for you, so you win it. These are ugly, but that's the fade, and that's the one that's going to run. All right, held on a little longer than I thought I would, but I probably should hop off and go see how the wife is doing with the kids down there. Everyone have yourself a good weekend, and yeah, hopefully the markets shift focus back to ETH, get away from this BTC stuff that it's been a bit distracting. Although I mean I don't know how much actual participation there is by most people in the space, because it is so difficult to get into. So maybe it's just a form of copium for ETH.
Hey, brother, appreciate you hosting these, man. This is really cool.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for jumping in
Yeah,
and
thanks a
chatting with
lot,
us.
man.
And yeah, we'll do more next week. So I'll try and be a little bit more proactive with my scheduling for next week. I had a busy week this week here, so I kind of was not 100% focused on the schedule. Knew I needed to get in, and it was last minute when I finally scheduled it in. So King, don't hesitate to bug me on get me to schedule something up there. So
Hey,
I'm just glad
man.
it wasn't
Like,
like at noon or something when I'm at work. Seems
what
like when everything goes on.
what was that? Sorry.
So I'm just glad it wasn't at like noon or something, or 2 o'clock when middle of the shift.
Yeah. Well, that often is usually when I get in is about 1. I guess it's about 4 o'clock Eastern. I don't know if you're East or West, but I usually am in at say 12 to 1 kind of range, which works well midday to get in and do something. But I could probably manage something later next week. Um, Figure out what day, maybe either Tuesday or Thursday. Probably Thursday. Given that I have Monday off from my IRL, Tuesday could be a little hectic. But yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you. You have a good one, man.
Yeah, you as well. See you, King C. See you at 2%. Cheers. Oh, straight hung up WC. All right, those on the video. Catch you guys later. Bit of a quiet one. Hope you had some entertainment. If you're still watching, kudos to you. We'll see you later.